Hi friends, my name is Vandita Shivle and thank you again for joining me on my channel. Well, the question today is coming from Samir Bhattacharya. His question is, he wants to understand the parameters to consider before investing in a mutual fund. Okay, Samir, so I'm going to help you with that. Well, couple of things here. Of course, I've been telling you that your goals are important. I mean, what's the purpose of your investment? That is a very important criteria. I've also told you that your risk appetite plays a major role here. I've also told you that you need to map your goals and your risk appetite. You need to have a longer time horizon in your mind when you are investing, right? Because this is not trading, this is investment. So you need to give time to certain businesses, and especially when you are working investing in mid caps and small cap companies. So these are some important things to consider. But what are the parameters that you must consider before you invest? So let's talk about that now. The first parameter that any investor must consider before they invest in a mutual fund is the expense ratio. So that plays a very, very important role. Now, what is an expense ratio? Well, the expense ratio is a fund manager, how much the fund manager is charging to manage your fund. Because when it's an active fund, so of course the fund manager who's taking care and buying and selling the units is taking care of your fund, right? So he would be charging you. But I would say that lower the expense ratio, better the fund is, because that impacts the overall returns. Now, it doesn't mean that extremely low expense ratio fund would do better. No, it goes hand in hand with other parameters as well that going to be talking about now. But it is very important to not look out for the for very high expense ratio. If a fund has very high expense ratio, look at other parameters as well before selecting. But expense ratio impacts the returns that any investor would receive post redemption. So it's very important parameter. The second parameter that you must focus on should be fund return versus benchmark return. Now, what does it basically mean? I have noticed that a lot of clients and even my investors, what they do is they look at the fund's return and then they say that the fund has given in 10 years 20% returns. Wow, the kind of alpha they've generated. It's really cool, this, that. So they talk about those kind of things. But I have been very, very cautious, and I keep telling them one thing, that okay, say this fund has given 20%. See if I look at that particular fund, I say that it has given 20% return. But if I look at its benchmark index, right, and if I look at the performance of its benchmark index, if it has given 25% returns, then I think that I have not chosen the right fund for me, because the benchmark is doing better than the fund, right? So it's very important to look at the benchmark's performance as well. And that is why I insist all the investors to look at the offer document, look at the scheme information document, look at the benchmark index, and look at the kind of performance the benchmark index has performed, and then see the fund's performance. Whatever that the extra alpha that it produces, and the more alpha the fund has generated compared to the benchmark index, gives that and only then give that fund a thumbs up, right? Because that is a very, very important factor which a lot of investors miss on. So it's very important to look at the benchmark index returns rather than looking at the fund's return, right? So be very vigilant on that front, right? Let's look at the other parameters now. So the other parameter is the risk level. So after we have seen that the fund has given positive alpha as in better than the benchmark index, you compare the two, right? After that, risk becomes very important. Now, you must have noticed in any scheme information document or the offer document, or even on value research or any website, if you look at a particular fund, they have given a meter like thing. So they've given a meter like thing. So you have low, you have moderately low, you have moderately high, you have high risk appetite. So that is for you, and also that is for you to understand that if they say fund is low risk fund, that means that if your risk appetite is less, it's a, give it a thumbs up, right? It's a good fund for you. That's a fund for you. So this is a very important factor, that you understand the kind of risk involved when you are investing in a particular fund, right? And because what happens is, maybe the fund didn't perform well, and all of a sudden there's certain news in the market, and and something is not doing very well, and you get baffled because the companies that the fund has put their money in, maybe they're small cap companies, and the performance has not been well, and you have to give it the time. So higher the risk, give it more time, and definitely you need to understand the risk adjusted returns, right? Because higher the risk you take, obviously you would expect higher returns from that particular fund. So these are certain criteria that you look at. And if you're a low risk investor, do not go for aggressive funds, I would say, right? So that is a very, very important criteria here, so just be vigilant on that front. Next very important parameter is the portfolio turnover ratio of the fund. Now, what is a portfolio turnover ratio? Well, it is, we all know that in mutual funds, fund manager buys and sell units, right? We all know that. Now, it's like there are a lot of companies, and sometimes the fund manager moves from large cap companies to mid cap companies, etc., etc. There's a lot of, when he selects or makes a portfolio. So now, if the churning of the portfolio is too much, right, the turnover ratio of the fund increases. And this churning means what? That the transactional charges of the investor increases. Why I say that is because obviously when there's a lot of buying and selling between the companies and the mutual fund house, or that particular fund house, there are transaction charges involved. Now, who pays for those transaction charges? Of course, you as an investor pay. So it's very important that you understand that the turnover ratio impacts the returns that you receive post redemption. Now there are two funds, say A and B. Fund A is giving 10% returns, and fund B is giving say 12% returns. Now, which is a better fund? So I think that looking at the parameters, I would say fund B is a good fund, and I'll go with that. But now let's look at the expense ratio. Now, if I look at the expense ratio of fund A, it is just 1%. But if I look at the expense ratio of fund B, it is 5%. So now the net returns that I would receive as an investor had I invested in fund A would be 10 minus 1, which is 9%. And had I invested in fund B, then it would be 12 minus 5, which is 7%. So 9 versus 7. So what I mean to say is, it does impact your return. So be very vigilant. Turnover ratio plays a very, very important role. There should not be too much churning in the portfolio, and if it's happening, it also shows that the fund manager is not is not having great conviction about his selection. So it is a very, very important criteria. Okay, remember that. The next parameter, which is very, very important again, is the fund manager history. How the fund manager is, right, looking at his historical record becomes a very, very important criteria. As in, maybe if that fund manager has been, if there is a particular fund and there's a lot of changes in the fund manager, then it's not a very great sign. And if there's one fund manager who is in a very big house and he has been consistent in giving those kind of returns, it is very good. And I think I'll go with that particular fund with a known fund manager. So fund managers' expertise plays a very important role, and of course the background of the fund manager. Look at that also in your scheme information document. Last important parameter is the history of that particular fund. Now, why I say history becomes very important is because the historical performance of the fund really determines the quality of the fund, right? How the fund has performed in the last 5 years. 5 years chart you must look at. We all know there are different business cycles, right? Ups and downs in the market. So there is a bull market, then there's a bearish market. There's a lot of ups and downs in the market. The fund, which is a consistent performer, will actually go well through these, right? So always look at the 5-year performance of the fund. It plays a very, very important role. And a lot of people always say that, Vandita, you never give suggestions about the NFO, or I do. It's not that I don't, but a lot of people really talk about that. But let me tell you this, that why I'm not in great favor of an NFO, because I think for a regular investor who has been investing in a lot of funds already, 4 to 7 funds should be the ideal number of funds. And when you've already invested in that, why do you want to invest in an NFO which has not even proven its performance, right? So for me, that's very important. I look at these parameters before I suggest any kind of funds to anyone. So these play an important role. Star rating and all comes with historical performance, and of course these kind of things that we have been talking about only, because the returns only consistent performers can give, right? And it's not just the returns, as I told, it's funds return versus the benchmark returns, and of course the other parameters that we have just spoken about. So guys, I hope that it was clear to you. If you have any questions, you can write to me. My mail ID is vanditashivle@gmail.com. You can tweet me your queries, or you can send me on my LinkedIn account. Anything is fine. You can also put that in the comment section. Thank you again for listening to me and giving your time. Do not forget to like if you really liked it, and do not forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you.